Hey, the camper's back for a very brief time. I've actually never showed you guys this before. It's a super nice camper. Oh, it's locked. Guess you have to wait a little bit longer. What a tease. I can show you a beautiful garden instead. Look at these sunflowers. They're like way taller than me now. The cosmos are intensely blooming. There's no other way to say it. And the black hollyhocks are finishing up. Hopefully they'll reseed some so we'll get another show out of them. I won't get another show out of him, but Jill will get another show out of him, therefore you'll get another show out of him. I'll get to watch along with you guys on Jill's channel. The space sure is lovely. Check out the Greenstalk. So I put cucumbers and peppers. Look at the tomato plants in here. I need to get one of the little support things to put on here because those are gonna get really big. Greenstalk makes a support, and I figured I would try theirs. My mom last year filled her Greenstalk up so much, and she didn't get their special support. She just made some with like some stakes, and it also worked. My elephant garlic is drying out pretty well. It's probably about time to start moving it inside. I shot no content all weekend. I've only ever had one migraine before, and this last week I had a migraine, the second one I've ever had in my life, and I lost like my whole weekend. I have a newfound compassion if that is something you deal with. Oh my goodness. I don't know if it was just stress or, you know, just all this transition. It's just a lot. And, you know, my dad has started his cancer treatments and just all this stuff. But man, I definitely, if that's something that you're dealing with on a regular basis, gosh, bless you. I seem to be 100% today. So hopefully yesterday was the worst day. Hope that was the culmination of it. I definitely have kind of a little bit of a like migraine hangover feeling, like just a little bit off, but definitely much improved. I didn't know, the thing is too, I don't really know what to do because that's not something I've ever dealt with. So I drank a lot of fluids and I slept a lot. That's the only thing that I really knew to do, but it was really rough. Look at this. The bees are just all over all these cosmos and dahlias and roses. Yeah, if anybody wants to tell me like what you're supposed to do when you have migraines, I would love to know that, because it was one of those things that in going through it, I realized I was very ill-equipped. I just didn't know what to do. Oh, this dill. So dill kind of quickly goes to seed here, and you get these little dill bouquets. And I always plant it in the spring because then when it goes to seed, I can use these bouquets and I can use this dill, and the cucumbers are gonna start growing and putting on fruit here real soon. So I can use my dill that I grow when I pickle my cucumbers. This garden is a buzz. That's the only way to say it. There's just so many pollinators with everything out here blooming. I don't know if you guys, if that'll pick that up, but there's just kind of this like humming buzz around here with all the bees. I've had a lot of people ask me lately what happened to our bees, and we had shared this when it happened, but I know that like over the course of time people can miss things. I know a lot of our viewers are real constant watching through the season, but not in the winter. In the fall of last year, we actually had a really unfortunate happening where the utility company came and sprayed poison in the easement across the street. And we had at that time 8 hives, and all but one of them absconded, which is no good. We did call and complain, and like they apologized and stuff, but unfortunately at that point the damage was done. The hive that we have left, we're not planning on trying to move that to South Carolina, and we probably would not have tried to move the other bees to South Carolina, but we would have at least given them to somebody. Stuff like that is really an unfortunate thing, because making protections for bees is so important. They're not supposed to spray if you're on the beekeeping list, and like I said, they apologized and said they made sure that it wouldn't happen again, but at that point all our hives were gone. Now on our new property, we're gonna put the bees way back off the road. Here, they were right by the road, which I think that was really not a good placement for them. The one hive that stayed was the one that was back off the road. So we will tell Nathan and Jill, if they do decide to keep bees here, not to put them where we had them. We should have had them further from the road. Guys, I wish you could stand right here right now. So much loveliness. My kids have found the blackberries, so there haven't been just a whole lot of black ones out here the last handful of times I've been here. There's one, but it's still real shiny. They've been picking them. Oh, look at that. Not ready yet. These things are huge. I made a video a week ago cooking dinner, and I was picking beans, and I didn't have quite enough to make a side dish. Since then, I've picked about 2 gallons in the last week, and they finally came on strong. Hey baby.
What's up?
I need to get on there and deadhead those and probably fertilize them again. Yeah. They'll bloom more once they're fed again. Oh Maya, the garden sure is lovely. Look what happened here. I told you guys these things would leap through here so it can climb. What do you think?
It's looking pretty lush.
It is.
You know?
It's a good last year for us.
Onions.
Yeah, we got a lot of onions.
Yum.
Join me for a little chat.
You are fond of these little chat sessions.
It's my favorite. Look at those sunflowers. That stalk. It used to be taller than me because it was in a raised bed. Now it's like the stalk itself is like 7 feet tall. So glorious. A lot of times I'll plant those sunflowers. That's a volunteer, but I left it. But when they're right next to the arch trellises, and I'll tie them to the arch trellis to give them some support, because when they get like 12 plus feet tall, they have a hard time standing upright.
You're gonna have a hard time standing upright when that starts to form a flower.
Yeah. I wanted to just really briefly kind of talk some logistics. So the last video we posted, Maya shot largely in South Carolina at the new property.
Yeah.
And I told you guys we had the camper back. I was going to show them inside the camper, but it was locked. But
go get the keys.
Yeah, that'd be good. I wanted to address a couple of things. Like one of the things, which when I was editing his video, I knew this would probably come up. But this was like the onset of the migraine, so it was kind of just like, whatever, I'm just gonna put it up. A lot of people were concerned.
I had to go through and fine-tune some editing.
Yeah, I was
like, oh, she really isn't feeling well.
I know, I wasn't doing a great job. I told him I can't work on it anymore. My head's hurting really bad. Jeremiah was talking about taking stuff out there. One of the things he didn't explain in that, and we had a lot of messages from people who were concerned, the way that our land is that there's actually a little section. Many of you noticed the little house across the pond. That's a neighbor of ours, and basically his property is just kind of cut out of ours, like his land, and they used to be all one property. And so the way our barns are, they're actually oriented right next to his house, and he's awesome. We met him the first time that we came out and just began to develop a friendship, have been in contact this whole time and like texting and calling and stuff. And he's keeping an eye on all our stuff for us. So we're not just taking stuff out to a property that nobody is and that, you know, it's going to be there unattended or anything like that. And the other thing is, another concern with Jeremiah traveling so much. Of course, we never announce whenever we're like out of town. Usually we don't put stuff up until we're back and stuff like that. But Ben Turn is here when Jeremiah is gone. So like a lot of people were concerned about, you know, the fact that we were openly in different places and stuff like that. So we actually do take a lot of precautions and account for the fact that we do have a really big platform. A lot of times we don't offer up, hey, our neighbor's watching our stuff, because our neighbor didn't sign up for YouTube. Like we do YouTube, we live publicly. We take those considerations into account. But a lot of times we don't just put other people's involvement out because, you know, it's just, this is our public life, not theirs. We try to consider that. But we do appreciate you guys being concerned on our behalf.
Well, I mean, another factor is like the stuff that I brought, we had to take, it took 2 of us and some 3 times, like we had to get some extra help and a tractor to get it unloaded.
It's not going to get stolen without noticing.
Right. Like you would have to be out there, get through the locked stuff, and then get through the stuff that's chained together, and then load it with a tractor. I'm not taking anything out there until we're out there that's like easily maneuvered.
Yeah, we're definitely taking into consideration. I love though, like we get all these messages and comments, and doing YouTube, I'm gonna tell you guys, a lot of times having our YouTube channel and like your care for us, it's like having a world full of mamas and daddies. It really is. Like we call people like our YouTube mom and dad and our YouTube grandparents and stuff like that, because we'll have so many people like, hey, and they're, you know, they're just looking out. Our stuff is okay. We're being very cautious and mindful, and it's gonna be a really interesting unfolding. I mean, it's so the kids asked us this morning, they're like, Mom, is it 8 weeks yet? And I started looking, I'm like, yeah, it is. It's actually, we're pretty much at 8 weeks out. So Jeremiah explained a lot of those logistics, and a lot of people are like, whoa, that's a lot, and it is. But we're taking the camper out there soon, which is pretty cool. So we'll have a place to stay there, and getting all the things hooked up. One person asked if we were planning on doing off-grid. We are hooking up to the grid right now. We'd like to do solar and all that stuff later, but right now things are so back ordered, and our goal is to just get there. So we are going to go ahead and lock into the grid.
Plus the internet connection comes in on the power companies.
Right.
So to get it to our house, we'd have to hook up at least at first.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing for right now. But we have a lot of plans. Whenever you're homesteading, we've told you guys this before, you make a 5-year plan, not a 1-year plan, because letting things unfold organically and like just working on one step at a time rather than trying to do everything at once, it just keeps you from getting into a really bad place. Because it's easy whenever you're doing a homestead to like see everything you should do and the way you want to do it, but if you try to do everything at once, a lot of times things fall through the cracks, you get overwhelmed, and things just aren't done excellently. So we just want to kind of take it one step at a time, and the first step is just get out there.
Yeah, and then do what needs to be done to get out there and be able to get like animals out there, things like that. So
yeah. All right, Maya got a key. Let's see the camper. All right, you can come in. All right, so here's our super cute camper. I'm actually hanging up decor in here that I have been collecting over the last few months. So we had this whole plan. You know, we've told you guys that we were planning to move to South Carolina for the last, I mean, almost 3 years. We've kind of had it in our heart to do this, but we had this plan. It started with paying off our debt, and then it moved to securing land. That was something we wanted to do. And then we wanted to buy a camper, which our plan changed with the building material crisis, with my dad's diagnosis, with the fact that we decided to move up. We weren't going to move until like the end of the year after the season, but it was really important, specifically to our teenagers, to move so that they could start school with the school year. So we sort of changed plans, but the initial part of our plan was pay off debt, secure land, buy the camper, and then get the ball rolling on building our house. And the idea was we could stay in our camper while we built our house, and we were going to put up our workshop, put the camper in the workshop, and build like a small apartment. So we would have the apartment plus the camper, and we could live in that for like the year that it took to build our house. The house build got delayed because of materials, and my dad's going to be helping us contract that ourselves, and we wanted to just remove all pressure, you know, and obviously make time for him to heal, make time for the market to maybe stabilize a little bit. And because of the building material issue, putting up the workshop in the apartment was going to be a little bit of an issue. So that's why we decided to go with a modular home. The other reason we wanted a camper was because we have a big family. And traveling with a big family it's just expensive. Like doing any sort of vacation where you have to get hotel rooms, because when you have 6 kids, you can't fit into one hotel room a lot of times, not comfortably, especially when your kids are getting to be teenagers. And then eating out, you cannot go to a restaurant hardly without eating really junky fast food and not spend $100. So being able to have a place to stay and cook makes vacations a heck of a lot more feasible. Lakes. Yeah, we like going to lakes and stuff like that. We like more nature type trips, and so getting the camper was also an investment in just like family fun over the next several years.
Yeah.
And we're still probably going to have to stay in it briefly while they set up our mobile home, but probably not for very long. However, we are thinking that it's looking pretty good for us to go to HOA. We weren't really sure with the move, Homesteaders of America conference. I think Jeremiah and I'll probably pull the camper for that. So we have this ultra cute kitchen and dining room and couch area. You can see I've got all my decorations in here. We've got this nice bathroom, and this is our bedroom. Let's see. And then of course this comes down to a bed, this pulls out to a bed. This is like a little storage area. My lovely assistant, there's a pantry. And then back here is a bunk room. So this pulls out to a bed, and then we've got 2 bunks here, which Benjamin came out here and was trying to set it up while he was helping me. So
he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, he did. I'll fix it up, but yeah, so super cute. So the first thing that I used this for whenever we first got it was I set up my podcasting stuff at this table, and I was working out here a lot, just kind of using this as an office, because normally whenever I need to get work done, I usually will go out of our house so that I can work, and this was here, so I came here instead of like going and sitting in a coffee shop.
And took a couple naps.
I did take a few naps. That's true.
Where's Mom? Oh, she's working in the camper. Oh, I went down there. She's not working. She's sleeping.
Busted. Bear. Am I busted? We were actually gonna like get in here and do some painting and some other stuff and kind of like really, you know, I got kind of carried away down the Pinterest trail of camper redos. But we're not gonna do that now. I did get this really cute funky wallpaper that I might put up some of this, but we're not gonna completely redo things. We have so many other things we have to do that are on the priority list. Maya is gonna go ahead and pull this out to the property though and park it, which will give us somewhere to stay when we're there, because we're gonna be making a lot of trips back and forth, getting stuff ready there. I'm gonna be going out there with the girls, taking Malia and then Jeremiah's sister Michaela and Noah's wife Maddie, taking them out to see everything. And this is going to save us a lot on hotel rooms over the next couple months. So that's really nice.
Well, that and just time.
Yeah, and time, because we can actually stay at our property instead of having to drive.
The next 2 or 3 trips are going to be work trips, like where I need to be out there working.
Yeah.
And so not having to drive 45 minutes to a hotel is going to be a big deal.
Absolutely.
And plus a nice place to go and cool off.
My favorite thing about having a camper and whenever you're planning trips and stuff is being able to cook. Because like that is one of the things that bothers me the most whenever we're traveling. We usually try to stay in Airbnb so we can have a kitchen, because we have so much food here that we raise that like being able to pack an ice chest with meat from our farm and stuff from our farm, one, it keeps us eating the way we want to eat, but 2, again, it saves a lot. I had in plans like doing like a really cool like camper reveal, because I thought we were going to do like a before and after and stuff, but instead we're just showing it to you.
Well, we did. This is before and after.
Jeremiah was like, Jess, can we please not make another project for ourselves? I'm like, okay.
I said no. I said not right now.
Right.
I said if later on down the road you want to paint the camper, and
it's really nice. I mean, it doesn't need anything. I think it looks great. I call it my special clubhouse. Here and hang out.
So if anyone who's musically gifted wants to write like a little jingle similar to Mickey Mouse Clubhouse for Jessica's Clubhouse, we are taking applications and
Jeremiah gives me a really hard time about my clubhouse camper.
What did you name this?
Toodles.
Toodles.
Bear likes it. He's my sidekick in my clubhouse. Well, this is it. It's pretty quick little tour. I guess if you guys wanted a more thorough tour, I could show it to you, but to see like actual camper features, we could do one of those. For people who aren't into campers, like little details probably won't matter. We did choose this. It's a 340 BH Outback. By Keystone, that's what it's called, yeah. For those of you who are wondering. We chose this one. I looked at a lot of different ones. We chose this one, because we were able to get a really good discount on it because it was last year's model. We were able to buy it locally, so there's no transport and any of that stuff. So that was a big factor. But also, we had looked at some that had like a larger bunk room where more kids could sleep back there, but the beds were significantly smaller. And in this one, we have to sleep some kids out in the main area, but we have more larger beds because we have the 2 fold down queens. And considering that we have teenagers, and you know, the further we get down the road, the more teenagers we're gonna have, we felt like that was a better option, because the bunkhouses that had all the kids back there, it was like smaller sleeping spaces. And we also liked the big open, because this has 2 slide outs here in the middle. So we liked that it had more of a big living area, because having a big family, we're obviously gonna be spending more time out here. So I love it. I'm very happy with it. And so far, it's only really been used here in our driveway. You know, we've had people stay in it, and I've gotten a lot of work done here. Jill and I pretty much produced the Growing Gardeners course. Anything that wasn't shot out in the gardens was recorded in here and worked on in here, which is pretty cool. And I think that even though we did have to change plans and go the route of the modular home, that we're still going to be really happy that we have this, because of vacations and trips and stuff like that, and being able to cook with our family. So I'll be back on track now with garden tours and all that stuff, now that I'm back to 100%. Again, if you have any like what to do when you get a migraine, please put it down below, because I had no idea what to do with this migraine, and it definitely kicked my butt. I'm glad I'm better now. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. God bless you. Until next time.